Before you leave, you are required to take a flyer about Wasabi Anime, primarily because it's not coming back on the plane with me. All right. If you really want, you can also have my business card that has the office phone number, which does take text. So when you guys find a really good party tonight, you can let my team and I know. Thank you. We're Wasabi Anime. That is Lynn. I am Tom. A little history of Wasabi Anime. Tells before every single panel, because afterwards everybody just rushes to me and goes, "Ooh, Wasabi Anime." Wasabi Anime is a task-based organization determined to rule the world. In English, what we are is about an anime club about 10 years ago. Actually, it'll be 10 years exactly on August 13th, that we started doing panels and events at conventions because we didn't like seeing the same 5 panels over and over again at other conventions. So the idea was to come up with innovative, fun panels and events that people hadn't done. And in 10 years' time, we've been to over 25 conventions. I'm wearing the anniversary shirt at all of them. Because before we knew it, people were paying us money to suddenly show up at different conventions and talk about Japanese cartoons and giant robots. We have no problem with that. The thing that we've noticed in the past couple of years, though, is that anime that we got tired of, that we liked, but it's like everybody was talking about over and over again years ago, suddenly wasn't getting talked about that much anymore. The moment of truth for us to discover that is we own a couple of conventions. We own the only Invaders In convention in America, by the way, called Invader Con. But we own one called the Florida Anime Experience. We built the Florida Anime Experience to be very, very arrogant to the fact that we don't think anime cons are about anime anymore. You go to an anime convention, you can see that really cool steampunk costume walking around the hallway, you're the Marvel superhero costume, and you can go play Halo in the game room. And last time I checked, none of those things have anything to do with anime, manga, or Japanese pop culture. So we built FAE to be very, very focused about it. As a matter of fact, our guest of honor at our first year in Orlando, Florida, was Steve Bloom, who was the voice of Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. The moment of truth came when we had 1,000 people come to our first year show, and about 800 of those 1,000 people had never heard of Cowboy Bebop. They were all bringing their stuff for Steve to sign from whatever their favorite video game was and a variety of other things, and we're like, dude, this is Spike Spiegel. I'm like, who? Cowboy Bebop? Oh, I've heard of it, but I hadn't seen it. So we decided that after coming full circle about people doing panels about the same things, that nobody has heard of them anymore. So we have a series of panels we've designed, and we're doing at conventions. We're doing it at Gen Con. We've been booked for Dragon Con. We've been booked for Anime Weekend Atlanta, called Anime Retro, because whether you like it or not, some of us, this stuff is from the 1990s. The 1990s can now be considered retro. Sailor Moon came out in 1992, which means next year's 2012. Do the math. Okay. So this panel is the Anime Retro panel about, yeah, that girl. The most impossibly physically shaped 14-year-old on the planet. I have been searching for years, meeting a nice girl with legs that are that thin, come all the way up to here. As it happens. Yes. So, the trick is, and the reason Lynn and I are both for doing this is, a big misconception among a lot of people is, yes, Sailor Moon is girly anime. I am a guy, I'm married, I drive a sports car, I live by the beach, I do a lot of manly things. I've seen all 200 episodes, I've seen every episode of the series afterwards. And I know way too much about Japanese schoolgirls at this point. But, that said, the storyline and the concept behind Sailor Moon transcends more than just being that cute girl anime. And people who take the time to look into it will know that.